I'm Lauren, filling in for Jared, and this is hard news for Tuesday, June 5th, 2012. Nintendo's press conference took center stage at E3 this morning, and in no surprise to anyone, the presentation focused heavily on the Wii U. Though not specifically on the hardware itself, but how a number of titles were interpreting the new tech. With the announcement of Pikmin 3 came the demonstration that the Wii U gamepad would allow for a more richer visual experience. Then with Zombie U, the gamepad held a number of uses, including the ability to be used as a screen augmenting tool. Very cool, was something that was definitely stood out from the other uses. Aside from the titles announced for the Wii U, Nintendo's parting shot was to unveil Nintendo Land, which was essentially a theme park for Mii's, though it featured numerous different attractions and areas. Then last night's Ubisoft press conference featured dancing, sex, drugs, and more swearing than a Mel Gibson phone call. But possibly the biggest reveal to come from the presentation was the new IP Watch Dogs, which seems to get a lot of people talking. The game's storyline centers around the notion that humanity is tied to the digital world, which is then hijacked by terrorists. The game rocks a third-person perspective and an engine reminiscent of Deus Ex. And with multiple characters and perspectives, the city becomes your weapon. Later on, Sony took the stage with their press conference, also last night, starting things off with what was possibly the longest montage ever. When they finally got around to announcements, they covered a number of new games and tech, but the closing number was what held everyone's attention the most. The Last of Us was shown off to widespread approval, with the social media response being almost instant. The realistic gameplay featured a new look on a post-apocalyptic survival horror, with the main character Joel and companion Ellie making their way through what appeared to be a old hotel. The rich environment drew a lot of attention, as did the melee-style combat system and the appearance that Ellie would actually be a useful companion, not just a hindrance. It was a strong firework ending to the press conference, especially compared to Nintendo, who literally resorted to subpar graphic fireworks to end their conference. Now, there was so much coming out of E3 that we can't possibly cover it in 3 minutes, so if you want all of the stories and everything that came out of those press conferences, head over to the news section of ScrewAttack, where we have all of the reveals and trailers that you could possibly want from E3. I'm Lauren, and that was hard news.